What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the newest episode of the Believe in Oregon podcast, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook and Backer. My name's Zachary, Neel. He's Jonathan Stewart. Jay Stu, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. My heart is still in my chest after it dropped.
Yeah, still stressed.
Watching that Iowa game, but I'm glad we came out victorious. I don't know if you realized, but me and Kenyon have we put a bet on the line with Marvin McNutt, receiver,
Okay.
that used to play at Iowa, and so he has he has a responsibility now to sing our fight song.
Okay.
And put it on public display. So I'm just glad we don't have to do that, because
is that what you guys were gonna have to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel for him. I remember I had to do that with the Ohio State guys after the Rose Bowl last year, and that's you don't think it's that big of a deal, but it's a humbling experience when you're up there and actually doing it. It's like, I really wish I was doing anything else in the world right now.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about today. Today's show, we're gonna take our biggest takeaways from the Iowa game, get into some take and bake, look ahead to the Minnesota game, which is, a short week this Friday. Talk about championship odds a bit because some interesting things are happening there. And then we're going to end with some quack facts. But let's just get started with the Iowa game. Oregon 18, Iowa 16. Incredible game, incredibly stressful game. Not a second of relaxation, I think, throughout the whole, 3.5 hours. How do you feel then, during the game, after the game, then how do you feel now?
During the game, before the game, I was, up in arms a little bit because we had some guys that weren't, to our surprise, available for this game. Kenyon Sadiq not being there. He was there, but just not on the field. And then the news to Dorian, it's unsettling, just for the season, as far as how things are going, and obviously needing, a talent like him. It's hard to replace that. But I do think that we have guys that can fulfill his role, step up. We have Evan Stewart, that is making his way back to the field. So we'll see how they implement him into the strategy. But going into that game, I was very up in arms. I'm like, well, I guess that's okay. And it did turn out to be okay because the weather was terrible. So as far as them actually being, a feature presence in the passing game, that would have helped as far as play options and whatnot that Will Stein would have been able to dial up. But I think it actually played to our favor. I think it challenged us to call a very efficient game, and being able to run the ball the way we did was night and day as far as what we saw or what we might have expected going against a disciplined Iowa football team. I knew we could run the ball, but to be able to do it at will the way we did, it was very, very, very it was very exciting to see. And then seeing the Dante Moore, be a part of the run option there. That also is something I think is very underutilized, in my opinion. I know we want to protect our quarterback and all those types of things, but when it does come to, the games on the line, you are the quarterback. And if you have wheels, you got to use them.
Yeah, absolutely. It was impressive to see them run so well against this team. I mean, most yards that Iowa has given up on the ground since 2022. Most yards per carry, 7.3 they've given up since 2014. There's a lot of questions about Oregon's ability to be physical in this game. And I think Oregon's answered this question numerous times since joining the Big Ten. Like, they can go in and do this. They had the questions again. They answered them again. So one note on injuries, Dorian Moore, there was initially fears of an ACL tear that he'd be out for the year. Sounds like he, Dan said after the game that he just tweaked it and he thought he was going to be okay. So I don't know that we see him this week. Obviously, short week against Minnesota. I'd be surprised if we saw him, but against USC, against Washington, maybe for a playoff run, He could be back, so that's one thing to keep an eye on. But like you said, Evan Stewart coming back hopefully soon. It could be as soon as this week, so we'll see. But that'll be something to keep an eye on going forward. If someone told you pregame that Oregon was going to have 112 passing yards, that Iowa would win the time of possession by 7 minutes, that Adakus Sappington would attempt 3 field goals, that Dante Moore would throw an interception, and the Ducks would be without 4 starters on an offense in an 18-16 game, who would you say won?
I would say Iowa. And to be
Right?
honest,
That is a
it's a
perfect
home
Iowa
field
game.
advantage. It's exactly the game that they would want you to play into. They did everything that they really kind of wanted to do. It's unfortunate that they don't have a good quarterback, yeah,
No,
he's
that's
not
fine.
good.
That's fine. I think you're fine.
but
I'm in agreement there.
hopefully he can be better in his time to come. But it just didn't, pan out that way for him, right? If Iowa had one of our backups as quarterback, they would be a really good team.
Someone who could just throw the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to, the efficiency, right? You just really we take for granted having a guy that can command the offense, that has the poise to go out there and make certain throws, and to not let the pocket shrink him, right? So the pocket does close in, but does it shrink you mentally, right? Do you have this moment where you're getting chased by a ghost, and Dante had to go through that a little bit this year, and you know but I love the way we finished the game. It was okay. We got to go down there and make this happen. We have to go bring the noise, the pain, the strategy to the Iowa defense. And Will Stein, that closing there, I love that he wasn't rushing. He dialed up the run plays. He went pass. He had a balance to himself. And what that does, it keeps a defense honest, especially in college. A lot of times, those runs that you call, that you're just trying to pick up a 4-yard gain, they turn into 20-yard gains. So you have to be honest when guys dial up run plays towards the end of the game like that. And what that does, it brings guys back into the box. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're running all these plays out of gun as it is. So you have to have in the back of your mind that we have to have run support, because we can't give up the big play to get them in field goal position. Oh, wait a minute. We got Dante Moore. He has one of the prettiest ball throws in college football. So
Yeah.
let's let him rip one and throw a dime
God, that one to
on
Malik. So
dude,
pretty.
man. But Malik's concentration there and trust. There's a lot of trust and concentration on that play. For Will Stein to call the play, and Dante to see and recognize man, and then for him to throw that type of ball when the game's on the line, when you need it, when you
Fit it
have
in
to
that
have it,
window. Yeah.
when you fit it in. It wasn't a window. That was
Well,
a wine glass sized hole.
yeah.
And he made a spectacular catch. And that's why we believe in the Oregon Ducks. Those plays, those moments right there. You saw on Saturday, Indiana had a moment where they had to have it, and their quarterback found a way. And so when you have teams that present, going through struggles, the injury bug, you can't do anything about that. You have to rise above it. The weather, can't do anything about it. You have to rise above it. We did all those things to rise above and be the better team, because we were the better team,
Yeah.
right? And our coach Rivera, old football coach, he always used to say, you know, it's the team that plays the best on Sunday that wins. It's not the team that has, the better, stat sheet, the better roster, the depth chart, and, has the better jerseys and helmets, and has the best, biggest, NIL fund. It's the team that shows up on Sunday and presents themselves as the better team by executing. And I think we executed really well when we needed.
It just so happens that Oregon also has those other things as well.
It does help. That
That
does help.
does not hurt. Yeah, I think that's kind of why, like, what you're saying. If I'm an Iowa fan, I think this game hurts a lot more than I expected because they played
Yeah.
exactly how they needed to play. They played their game. If you told them all the stats I read to you earlier, they're like, "Yeah, we win that game." Like they couldn't have drawn it up better to have a almost 7-minute
Yeah.
drive, 93 yards to like almost ice the game and go ahead in the fourth quarter. Like that's Iowa football. And then for Oregon to come in and steal it, just
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Really impressive.
Shout out to Sappington. Shout
Shout out
out
to
to Sappington,
Sappington.
though.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just being a
he
dang
deserves it.
dog.
He
2
deserves it.
kicks that we needed. 2.
3 kicks that we needed.
3, but I mean, all of them we needed clearly.
Yeah,
But
2 that were really
but
important.
two that were very important, where the weight of the world is on your shoulders,
Yeah,
and you know it,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
the weather. Come on.
It was just he deserves a lot of credit. Yeah, this kinda gets into my take and bake a little bit. I just felt more strongly about it after the 48 hours after the game. I can't believe they won this game. I think it was one of the most impressive wins of Lanning's career at Oregon. It's not going to be remembered in history just because, it was kind of ugly game, not a high scoring game. They tend not to remember those games, but it was so important. This was a real culture game. I mean, this is one where, Lanning talks about trusting his guys and trusting the guys next to you, like your teammates trusting each other. They have those get real meetings in the offseason where they really learn, you know, the why of everyone playing football, like what they're
Yeah.
playing for, who they're doing it for. This is when it shows up when you've got 4 starters out on offense and you need to know that guy next to you and you're going to play that much harder for him. It was just really impressive. We've talked about Oregon being able to play any type of football and find a way to win. I mean, 33-31 against Ohio State, yes. 30-24 against Penn State, yes. 18-16 against Iowa, sure. Why not?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Let's do it. Lanning always says, line the ball up in the parking lot and let us play. They'll go out and play. This was another example of that, and I'm wildly impressed. They could have easily lost this game, and no one would
Yeah.
have blamed them. Like there were so many things stacked against them in this. Like it would have been okay, yeah. Like it's unfortunate, but it's understandable. They weren't having that. They went out and said, "All right, let's do it anyway. Like let's still go out and do that." I was just bravo to them. I didn't think they were gonna pull it off. They proved me wrong. I'm impressed, man.
Yeah. Don, I'm really happy that we have a stable of running backs that are healthy.
They're so good too.
We've been talking all year about, Noah Whittington, Jordan Davison, De'Aaron Hill, and these guys, they leaned heavy on them, and to be honest, there's a lot of situations where the play calling, I was kind of questioning and scratching my head. You go empty on offense, you go empty
First drive,
and
3
then
plays, 3 passes.
Well, not that. It was actually in the red zone. It was the drive where we ran the ball very effectively, and we got down there, and it was led by the running game, and we go empty on third down,
3rd and 3. Yeah,
and we go with the quarterback draw. I'm like, wait, like I know that you're gonna do that because, like, you know what I'm saying? It just didn't pan out the way I thought. There's a
totally.
lot of missed opportunities, right? You run the ball again there, and it's an easy first down. It's an easy pickup.
You're getting 8 yards per carry.
So what are we doing here? We just being too cute, and to be honest, man, like sometimes offensive coordinators just need to hear the truth. We treat the offensive coordinators, like they're fine china, like fragile, like and I think you hold the accountability to the play caller because it's in his hands. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in your hands, and obviously is ultimately in the hands of the guys that are executing the plays. But you want to put these guys in the best position to win. The best position on that day, especially after you just grinded all the way down to the goal line or near goal line. Just continue to dial the things up that work. It's not rocket science. We don't have to outthink anybody, especially on a game like that, on a day like that, on an away game. There's no outthinking. Go heavy right and tell them that I'm running it to the right.
Let him stop you.
Yeah, and that was the type of game that it was all day, so things like that had me leaving my head, just scratching my head, because when we do have to play someone that is like not inferior to us, what are you going to do? What's your DNA? Who are you? And what can we expect? What can your players expect? Because I can tell you, watching film on Sunday after that game, I'm in the back saying to myself, "Dang, coach, why'd you call that play? That's stupid." You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hope he has answers for that. I hope he's honest about it, because you work hard all week long, and you're preparing and you're trusting the preparation. And the one thing that we can't allow to happen is for things like that to get in the way of potential success.
Completely agreed. I want to hear who impressed you the most in this game, because I personally was just like, I don't want to say blown away, because that kind of makes it sound like, I didn't think they could do the job, but so impressed with the offensive line,
Yeah,
particularly Poncho and Emmanuel Pregnon. They were absolute maulers in the run
maulers.
game. They did
Man,
so well.
the left
Oh my
side of
God.
the whole left side of that offensive line, they knew what time it was. They were
Oh,
like, "Hey, look, we
they
struggling on the right
stepped up.
side, so we got to make sure we be dialed in. We're moving furniture today." That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
uh,
Forklifting people.
Forklifting people, all finishing guys to the ground.
Mhm.
I love hat on a hat, guys on the ground. I love seeing clear, backs to the ball carrier where
Yep.
it's like clear open lane. That's where the runners got to go. And we saw that on that left side consistently. But I would have to agree. The offensive line definitely impressed me the most. 74, his name was
Mhm.
called a little bit too much, in my opinion. So hopefully there's a learning experience for him in this game. You don't have to be a hero on every play. Just stay within, the context of the game. But
Mhm.
I will say, um, the guy that impressed me was D. Hare Hill. And it's not
Really?
necessarily
Okay.
because he did the things that was expected,
Mhm.
but the limited touches that he gets, and for him to still be in it mentally,
Mhm.
because in my opinion, it's a gift and a curse to have good running backs. All of them can do all the things, right? I think all of them had over 6 yards per carry.
Mhm.
And for him to be able to just be called up, go in there and execute just whenever they decide to, because throughout the year it's been very random. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's been play specific or not, but it just seems very random as far as his placement in the flow of the game. And so for a guy like that with so much talent, to just, yep, my number's called, let me hit it, let
Yeah.
me get the ball, oh, score a touchdown, let me do that. And
Yeah.
so that's the way that everyone should be. And we're seeing it, guys stepping up. When a guy goes down, that's an opportunity for you to rise up.
Yeah.
But you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I think for me, seeing him, you know, playing behind Jordan and Noah, and still being a force to be reckoned with, and that, a lot of guys can tank. A lot of guys can, say to themselves, "Oh man, I'm not being utilized the way I should be." Um, and they end up, kicking themselves in the foot. He doesn't do that. So
Yeah.
I'm impressed with that mindset.
Yeah. He does a really good job of that, staying ready, like you're saying. Also really impressed with Dante Moore. It
Hmm.
wasn't his game. Like, this was one of his worst stat line games, but he, like you said, like you're saying with the year, like when it came to be his time and they had to have
Yeah.
that 2-minute drill, minute 51 seconds left, drive the field, get in a field goal range. He made the throws, man, and he stayed so cool and calm and collected. And like you said, I love so much that they ran the ball to start that last drive. It just showed that, like, yeah, they're comfortable. They're fine. They're not coming out here passing and trying, like, worried about the clock. They're like, all right, we've got our timeouts. We've got our time. Like, we do this. We practice this every single day. Dan said after the game, he's like, yeah, we practiced that 2-minute drill. I never give them that much time to get down the field. Like, they had more time than they're used to. So, like, yeah, they were fine. And then the passes he threw, that pass to Malik Benson we already talked about. But it's just, I'm just very comfortable with him in those situations, especially after what we saw against Penn State, when he's put in those high leverage situations outside of the Indiana game, which even after this just seems to be such an anomaly that he struggled in that game. I still just don't really understand why or what happened. But what was your confidence level going into that final drive that they were going to get down the field? Because I was at like a 70, 75. Like I felt pretty good.
I felt really good.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because we were running the ball really well all game. And so my hope is that they learn from this. You don't have much time left. You still can run your plays. Okay. Don't panic. Don't go pass happy and have to have it now. And to be honest, maybe Iowa's the way Iowa, scored their touch and getting downfield like that. Maybe that was a little bit of a reminder of, hey, slow too fast through. We don't have to rush this thing. But I think what we need to do is we need to give Dante Moore a nickname.
Okay.
We're gonna call him Cold Stone.
Cold Stone. Okay.
Cold Stone. And the reason why we're calling Dante Moore Cold Stone, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the ice cream company, Cold Stone.
I love Cold Stone.
It's because when we need to have it, we gotta have it, and Dante Moore delivers. And so if you are familiar with Cold Stone, there is a size cup that's called I Gotta Have It.
Gotta have it.
Dante Moore has to have it. He's gotta have it, and he does it.
He's got ice in his veins, too.
He's got ice in his veins, too. Yes, exactly. So gotta have it, Mr. Gotta Have It, Cold Stone, Dante Moore. And because when we have him, the way he's been able to have drives that are meaningful and yeah, you don't get the glory for you don't get a touchdown, drive, but you get a game-winning drive and you do it efficiently and you do it with so much poise. I mean, I don't know if he can throw that ball in practice the way he threw it. And maybe he does. I don't know, but it was perfect. Like, you can't just that has to be like a divine energy going on that type of drive where you're just that dialed in and synced up with another person that's down the field blazing with another guy covering him like a blanket.
Well, and what makes it more impressive is that route is not normally Malik Benson. That's a Dorian Moore route.
Dorian, yeah.
And since he's down, they've got Malik in that spot. It's like he still trusts him. He still puts it on a dime. He trusts his guy. Like, they know that they've got man coverage, and it's a little check at the line and say, all right, go. I'm going to find this window. Real quick, what's your Cold Stone order? You're going to, you gotta have it. What are you getting?
Dude, if I gotta have it, I'm going strawberry ice cream with strawberries, Oreo, graham cracker, and caramel. And what am I missing?
I don't know. That sounds pretty good.
I think that's it.
That sounds like a good mix.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm going cake batter. I'm going Kit Kat. I'm going Oreo, and I'm going caramel.
Nice.
Cold Stone, if you want to sponsor our show, we're more than willing to take you on. That's great. All right. Before we go any further, I want to talk about one of our actual sponsors. I want to talk about Backer. You'll notice I'm wearing my backer hat. It was pouring down rain this weekend in Iowa. I'm sure there were some people out there who had some nice backer jackets. I
Yeah,
hope
and
they
if you
did at
didn't
least.
have them, you need to go invest in one.
You might have been a little wet after that game. This weekend, this game on Friday night, it's supposed to be wet again. So if you got a chance, get some backer before you get out there. Incredible stuff, high performance materials. I seriously wear mine 2 to 3 times a week. It's comfortable, great quality, keeps you dry. They got waterproof stuff. They've got a cool jacket, insulated jacket, plus a handful of hats as well, helping you stay comfortable in any condition, which we know, being in Oregon, you can see any condition in any given day. Go to backer.com. That's BCKR.com. Use the promo code BELIEVE10. That's BLEAV10 at checkout for free expedited shipping and 10% off of your purchase. Again, that's backer.com, BCKR.com. Promo code BELIEVE10 for free shipping and 10% off your order. This stuff's great. The holiday season is coming up. Get someone in your life some backer. I'm sure they will be very, very happy. All right, let's talk Minnesota. This is a team that Oregon should be able to play even like a B minus game, and I think they win comfortably. Just being honest, they've got a pretty bad offense and an average at best defense. They average 18.5 points per game, which is 116th in the nation. They've got the 127th total offense in the nation, the 98th passing offense, the 129th rushing offense. Like, they're not really going to move the ball, especially going against an Oregon defense that is top 10 in just about every measure. So, and then likewise, their defense, I think, is average. They are okay against the run. They're okay, not great against the pass. I don't know. The most concerning thing about this game is that it's a short week. That you had a tough, grueling game against Iowa on Saturday. You turn around and play on Friday night, and Minnesota had a bye week this past week, so they've had time to rest up and get ready for this game. Does that give you any concern? Does anything about this game give you concern?
It doesn't. I mean, the weather if the weather's bad, it definitely doesn't.
No.
I actually hope that it's terrible weather.
That might be a benefit.
Because we've already had 2 games with terrible weather, and we've come out and we've done, we've executed and we've played in bad weather. So I think we've had the experience, right?
Yep.
We know what it feels like to lose. We know what it feels like to win in those bad weather games. And so we know the recipe. And as I'm telling you, the only way we lose this game is if people start thinking that they're smarter than the game itself, right? So just dial up the right plays, let your playmakers go out there and make plays. And I think the week of preparation is, keep things, you got to simplify it, right? When you have a short week, you simplify what you're doing offensively and defensively. It doesn't mean you dumb things down. You just simplify it, right? You go out there and you're not trying new things. Don't try anything new.
Yeah. Hey, broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, do not try anything new. And I think it's just more so of a mentality that you're focusing on this week more than anything. Because what I'm telling my guys is, hey, I know it sucks. I know it hurts. I know it doesn't feel good. We have to get to Friday and we have to blow past these guys on Friday, because when we do, we have one extra day of rest going into next week. So earn it.
Yeah, absolutely earn it. The FanDuel odds, again, this show brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, our presenting sponsor. The odds have Oregon at minus 23.5 for the over-under at 46.5. That seems a little bit low to me, but curious, what do you think at 23.5? You think they can cover that?
I don't know, man. I honestly think if we call for a short week and to simplify things, it's not about the points to me. It's about can you win this game and still come away from this game and say, I got better. I actually got better today. Like, I proved that I am a better blocker today. I proved that I can rush for 8 yards per carry today. Like, just I don't want to play this whole like guns blazing game. I don't want to play this game as, hey, Dorian, or Dante Moore, let's open you up a little bit, right?
Mhm.
I don't want to play that game. I
Yeah.
want to play the game that let's do what we need to do to win this game, keep guys
Yep.
healthy, and
Get out of there.
get to USC,
Yeah.
right? And I'm
Totally.
not telling these kids that we're thinking about USC, but as far as preparation,
Totally. Just take care of
the main
business.
thing, the main thing.
Yep. Absolutely. What's your final score prediction? You got one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think second half is an igniter for this team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm okay with a efficient slow half,
Mm-hmm.
first half, but I think Minnesota realizes that they're in Eugene and they don't want to play defense. They don't want to be there.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I'm gonna say 38-10.
Okay. I got 31-7. So yeah, we're kind of in that same
Hmm.
same realm. I originally had 38-7, but I agree that I don't, this isn't a game where you have to prove yourself. Like, just get in, get out, get the job done,
Yeah,
stay healthy, get ready for. Don't think about USC, but just get ready
yeah.
for USC. Yeah.
Shorten
Yes.
the game up,
Keep
shorten
the
the
ball on the ground.
opportunities for guys to be out there getting hit.
Totally.
Um, you know, call on the guys that are doing the hitting to do the hitting, such as your offensive line in the trenches
Yeah.
in the run game.
Yeah. Looking ahead, we're gonna get to championship odds in a second, but just looking at the remaining schedule: Minnesota this week, USC the week after, and then a game at Washington. What's your remaining confidence level? I think going into last week before the Iowa game, I personally was like maybe a 65% confidence level that they could win out and win every game on their schedule. I think they just won the hardest game remaining, especially after what we saw from Washington and losing to Wisconsin on the road. So that game does not scare me as much as it did. What's your confidence level that they can go 3-0 and finish with one loss? Because I'm probably at like a 85 or 90% right now.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. You know, USC is obviously the better
Yeah,
opponent that we have left.
yeah.
And they're
That's
not
at
a
home.
slouch. And it's a home game. It's a home game. I'll
Hmm.
be there for that game.
Hell yeah, we're gonna
Um,
golf before that game.
we're gonna golf. If anybody wants to go golf, make sure you
Absolutely. Hit us up.
you know, yeah, hit us up. Um, I think that their defense, USC's defense, is not something that scares me.
Not
And
at all.
so as long as that is still the fact by the time we
Mhm,
play them next week, we're gonna run all over them. We're gonna
yeah,
run them out of Eugene.
mhm,
Um, Northwestern, I feel like was able to get a good ground attack against them. That's their bread and butter. And some would say that our bread and butter is the running game. So copy and paste. Like I think you copy and paste certain things against certain teams that work well, and you just enhance it because you were the better team.
yeah.
UW, I think them losing to Wisconsin is a dud. Is just I don't know how that happened.
It's so
But
funny.
I think what I think UW gets away with their quarterback being very athletic and being able to have these random explosive plays that kind of
Mhm,
give them different types of odds, right?
yeah,
If you keep a guy like that intact, they don't have a consistency about them, and I
mhm,
think that's the reason why they have had the season that they had so far because there is no consistency. Like
mhm,
you're depending on your quarterback to break loose on a crazy run, and then now defense has to play, tight coverage, and then he able to get behind you on a deep ball or something, right? So um, that's not consistent. It's not going to win games. It's not going to be something that I think that Oregon can't get over.
and it doesn't help when you have a head coach who wishes he was literally anywhere else right now,
Yeah.
who might be leaving after the end of the season. We'll see. Let's look at the remaining championship odds because I was a bit surprised by this. Oregon goes on the road and wins a game against a top 20 opponent in a really tough environment. The championship odds went down, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Oregon now has the seventh best odds in the nation to win the championship at plus 1,500. Last week before the Iowa game, they had fifth best at plus 1,000. They got jumped by teams like Georgia and Notre Dame. Um, does that surprise you? I was like, when I saw that, I was like, They dropped in the AP poll too. They dropped by one. They got jumped by Ole Miss, who beat Citadel at home. And it's like I just don't understand it.
This doesn't surprise me one bit
Okay.
because I think honestly, if you look at the grand scheme of things, they want to put us down as far as possible just in case we lose. So that way we get out, right?
Yeah.
And that's just what's happening. There's no reason why it's valid. There's no validity there, right?
Yeah, it's not correct.
Yeah, like I don't think Georgia is as good as what people think they are. I can tell you that. Let me actually what is their schedule? Let me look that up right quick.
Georgia, they play
Georgia,
Texas soon.
And yeah,
then they
like
play Georgia Tech too.
Yeah.
They've got remaining games at Texas this week, then they play Charlotte, and then they play Georgia Tech to end the season.
Yeah, so how I see that is they're just trying to make sure that Georgia is relevant at some point during the rest of the season. Like, let's give them a couple rankings ahead, so that way when they do lose to Texas is by that time a top rank. Are they playing Texas this weekend?
Texas this week, yeah. This week, Texas number 11.
So they're 11. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening, right? Let's give them a little boost when they lose to Texas.
Just give them a little pillow. That's what it is.
They'll trade spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we already know what Texas is.
Team, yeah, at the end of the year, and you're back in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they beat Georgia Tech.
That's true. That'll be a good game. I think that'll be fun. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Whatever. I continue to feel like this team is getting doubted, and I don't mind it because we saw what it was like last year to go wire to wire and to be that number one team for so long. It was a little taxing. It was a little stressful. I mean, just as a fan and as someone who covers the team, like I can't even imagine what it was like each week having your name out there and just like dealing with that pressure. So I don't mind one bit what the spot that this team is in right now.
Yeah. And then Ole Miss is actually, I think Ole Miss is probably the more dangerous team out there. They can run the ball good.
They're good.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of things good. Notre Dame, running back is playing really well. And then Alabama, their quarterback seems to be a bright spot. So it'll be interesting to see if he can deliver when they actually need him to deliver.
Yeah, there's some good teams out there for sure. All right, once again, before we close out the show, we're going to go to our Oregon trivia segment, Quackfacts, where I try and stump Jay Stu. You ready for this one? All right, Oregon did something rather strange on Saturday against Iowa. They scored fewer than 20 points, but still won. When was the last time Oregon scored fewer than 20 points and won? And how many times has it happened in the last 5 years since 2020?
Was the last time when Mario Cristobal was a coach?
You tell me.
I think it has to be because I remember that. I remember watching games like that. I was like, God, that can't move. They can't score. They can't score nothing. I'm gonna say Mario Cristobal era. I don't know what game.
Okay,
but what we got?
It actually happened last season. 16-13 against Wisconsin. Remember that game?
Oh yeah, I do remember that game.
But that game and this game against Iowa are the only times it's happened in the Dan Lanning era. The only time it's happened since 2020, which is as far back as I had time to do research. So strange for them to score less than 20 and win a game. That does not happen much.
Defensive ball club. That's what we are now.
Yeah, they're tough and gritty. All right, let's wrap it up there. We will be back on this weekend, probably on Saturday, because again, Oregon plays Minnesota on Friday.
Hold on, I got one for you. For you.
Please.
How many times has Oregon played Minnesota?
Oh, I actually don't know this. I'm gonna say 4.
Oh, good job. What's the what?
Is it 4?
How many? Okay. Yeah, it's 4. How many times have we won?
I bet we're 3-1 against them.
We are 1-3.
Oh, 1-3. Uh-oh.
So
when was the last time they played?
I don't know. I can't remember that information. I just know what I know.
Part of the research.
But I will say this. Do you know what Hall of Fame coach in the NFL won one of those games against Oregon?
So they were a Hall of Fame coach, but not a Hall of Fame player.
Mm-mm.
Huh. I don't know.
Tony Dungy.
Oh, he played at Minnesota, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think he still lives in Eugene. You know that?
75 and 76. Yeah, he still has a house there.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Nice. I love that little back and forth Quackfacts. Look at
Yeah.
us go. All right. Yeah, we'll be back on this weekend, probably Saturday, because a late game on Friday night. Look out for us then. You got anything else to add before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Sounds
I'm
good.
just ready to rock and roll, dog. I'm ready to
Absolutely.
get to Eugene for USC game. So Minnesota, hurry up and get it out of the way.
I'm looking forward to a game where it's like less stressful than that one. Because that one, like, that's fun when it's that intense, but it's like, oh man, I had a couple of drinks after the game. It's like I need to relax. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like hyped up still. It was crazy.
Yeah. I definitely had a couple drinks after that. We were late to a birthday party because I was sitting there watching the game, like at the TV. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we ain't leaving yet. I don't know
Yeah,
what
no.
just relax over there.
Yeah, you can go sit in the car and wait. I'll be out there in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, you can check out more of my work at duckspire.usatoday.com. Follow me at Zachary C. Neel on Twitter. Follow Jay Stu on Twitter at JonathanStewR1, and make sure to check out his stuff there. For myself, Zach Neel, my co-host Jonathan Stewart. We'll talk to you guys this weekend. Until then, take it easy.